Hi, everybody. Pastor Randy here from Grace Point. Delighted to have you join us for part 3 of Coronavirus Survival Kit. And I am here with my special guest and friend, Dr. Pam Perez, a Christian marriage family therapist as well as a neuropsychologist. And I brought her with me today because we're going to talk about fear. People are like freaking out, feeling fear everywhere, all over the place. And we just thought we could bring some helpful, practical, and biblical counsel to you, some ideas about how you can identify your fear, how you can understand fear, and how you can navigate your fears. Because here's the thing, if we can understand what's going on, then we will be more understanding with ourselves and with the people that we are cooped up with right now. And so thank you for joining us. And Pam, I want to just thank you again for coming and ask you, first of all, if you could describe for us, to help us gain understanding, what happens in the brain and what happens in the body when we begin to feel fear.
Well, I guess I would describe it. The first thought that came to my mind was this cascade that begins down in the brain, and it starts kind of innocuously with just that sense of anxiety. It's usually kind of mild. It's a little distress, a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of sort of angst and looking around, and then it kind of grows as this gnawing sense of, maybe I'm feeling a little bit of stress.
Okay.
And I start looking around a little bit more and a little bit more intensely, and I start asking myself what's bugging me, and then I start paying more attention to the environment.
Boy, that sounds a lot like what's going on right now.
That's what's happening right now, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of start checking a little more. What's happening around me, and why am I feeling like this? And then for right now, we're finding, look, there's all these reasons why I should be feeling like this.
Oh.
And so I start to heighten my awareness.
Oh, I sense a cycle developing.
It's a cycle developing. And then the brain starts saying, okay, amygdala,
Yep.
my friend, guard check, start paying attention because there's some threat about.
Right.
And we start seeing cortisol start being released. Starts here, it's very complex, but the bottom line is it starts a little bit up here and it goes down to the top of the kidneys, adrenal glands, and then boom.
So we can't even see this.
But
this is happening automatically. When we feel a threat. Automatically. An invisible thing is happening. It's very, very real. And it's sort of a cascading effect. You say it goes all the way down to our kidneys?
All the way down to the top of the kidneys where the adrenal cortex is located. Cortisol, and it goes right back up into your brain.
Wow.
And once that happens and it floods the frontal cortex, then your reason and your all that executive control sort of goes off.
The part that makes me go, It's getting hijacked. Is that the word that you use?
Planning, organization, all that gets hijacked.
Hijacked is a big word.
And
because when I'm hijacked, and this part of my brain is hijacked, that tells me I'm not thinking like I normally
I'm not thinking like I normally would. No, and so now I'm on alert. And now I'm not only paying attention to the environment, I'm paying attention to people.
Okay.
And people, I'm starting to think, you're getting in my way. You're blocking my goal, man. You're irritating me. You're bugging me. You're not thinking like you should. You're not acting and reacting like you should.
I'm not only thinking like I should, but I'm not speaking like I should to people because they're in my way now.
Because they're in my way.
Yeah.
You're blocking my goal. And so now I'm starting to get amped up. And because I'm looking and I'm scanning the environment for cues, now I'm noticing things that I didn't notice before. Have you noticed those shelves at the grocery store?
They're pretty empty these days. And their social media is picking this up and broadcasting it right into our homes, through our phones, our computers, everywhere you go. It's like, there's a sense of threat that something I need is going to be missing. I better jump up and I better rush out and I better attack that pallet of toilet paper a velociraptor on Jurassic Park because it's going to be gone.
Even if I don't need it, I better go get it.
I better.
Just in case.
There it is.
And there's the fear.
So that's that understanding. So
that's right.
Thank you for helping us understand the fear.
And
now,
so Now it's escalated.
It
now
is. So how do we back away from it? How do we back it down?
Okay.
And give us some practical ideas about when we begin to realize there's a threat occurring.
Okay.
And there's this invisible thing cascading.
There's this invisible thing cascading. So now I have to start paying attention to what's happening in my body. Mm-hmm. So if I catch myself doing that, and that's a little harder than it was before because I'm being asked to socially distance.
Right.
I wasn't doing that before. It's
wasn't.
Harder to reality check.
I can't go and hug my Italian mother-in-law. Right.
I can't do that.
I can't. So
I can't go to my church.
I can't go to my church.
I can't go be with people. But here's the deal.
I'm starting to feel stressed already.
Right.
Help me. What can I do? I'm a shepherd with no sheep right now. So
that's right. I'm a sheep with no shepherd. And so what do we do here?
Yeah.
Because we're not designed to handle stress. We're not designed to handle pain. We're not designed to do these kinds of things all by ourselves. And so we have to find a way. I heard the other day somebody say, we're living in exciting times. And I remember thinking, what the bejeebers are you talking about, woman? And then I started thinking, wait a second. These are times where we have incredible opportunities that we have never had before.
Okay.
And so I don't know about you, but I'm getting pretty good at this telehealth and this telecomputer stuff.
Right, the Zoom thing. Yeah.
Our family had a get together yesterday via Zoom. There were about 12 little cute boxes on the computer screen.
Like the Brady Bunch?
Like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Multiplied because the Perez's were a pretty good sized clan. And it was very cool. It was very fun. Yeah. And so you're not going to think about doing that if your brain has been hijacked.
Right.
And so you have to stop. You have to get mindful, and you have to kind of go, okay, let me stop here for a second and really pay attention to what's happening in my body.
Right.
My heart rate's a little high. My pulse is a little. Right. My stomach's doing some somersault stuff.
Your
my
body
chest
starts
is really tight.
Keeping score. Your body keeps score.
Your body starts keeping score.
Some keep score in their heart, some in their necks. It gets tension, or you get a headache. Or your stomach, like you say. Yeah. I'm
out of balance.
Right.
My chest is really tight here.
Yeah.
And so what I need to do is I need to get my physiology in check so that I can get my brain and my mind and my thoughts back in balance.
Yeah.
Because it's balance that we're after.
Right.
And so I'm going to start by doing something really simple. I'm going to start by breathing, not through my mouth.
Okay.
Because if I do that, I'm going to increase those stress hormones that are flowing already through my body, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Okay. So what do I need to do?
I'm going to sit down, my knees straight ahead or on the floor. I'm going to breathe in through my nose.
Okay.
In by 3. Out by 6. And I'm going to do that 3 times.
3 times. Okay.
3 times.
Okay.
And that should start bringing oxygen to my brain so I can start thinking a little more clearly.
Okay.
Breathing out like that will not only get rid of toxins, that CO2 that's in my body, but it'll start to calm me and slow everything down a little bit. And then I can start thinking a little more clearly. And that's really going to make a difference.
It does. And I just was going to say that when I think about breathing, I think about Genesis in chapter 1 where God breathed life into humanity. And there was something very intimate in the Hebrew word of ruha when he used the word breathing into humanity, breathe life. And when we breathe like that, it's almost like we're returning to the life giver itself.
Yeah.
And I want to encourage you, think about that as you're breathing, that God gives life. He is the life giver. That you have a good Father who is near. And when he's near, you don't have to fear.
Amen.
Okay, so, So breathing can be very helpful.
Yeah. The other thing that, we need to do is because cortisol depletes your serotonin levels. Serotonin is that neurotransmitter that regulates our mood.
Okay.
That sense of well-being. It also regulates sleep and appetite. And so if you find that that's kind of, out of whack, you're feeling out of balance, you can you can regulate or up your serotonin levels by exercise.
Okay, exercise is good. We see a lot of people walking these days. Walking the dog.
A nice brisk walk. So get a little exercise, go in the backyard. Mr. Perez tried to challenge me to a chipping contest in the backyard. I'm not going to tell you what happened there because I don't want to humiliate the man. But you can do those kinds of things.
Okay.
Just do those kinds of things.
Right.
And then dopamine.
Dopamine. It's another.
Bacon. We all know what brings the man's dopamine. Raises his dopamine levels.
That's a feel good.
That's that feel good happy hormone.
Happy hormone, right? Oh yeah, I do feel a little dopey
neurotransmitter
when I eat too much of it. Yeah. It's a neurotransmitter.
No, it's a neurotransmitter.
Okay.
And so you can raise those naturally by watching a funny YouTube video.
Funny YouTube.
Make yourself laugh.
That's great. There's some good ones on, like Ukaipa Bulletin. If you haven't gone in there, just a little plug. Lots of funny posts that you can check out.
Right.
Of course, other people's Facebook page. Yeah,
right.
Those are great.
And so there's lots of ways to do that right now. Right. And we can communicate with one another that way. Or, like you said, keep an eye on Facebook.
Yeah, finding ways to connect, finding ways to do community. Even though we're separate, we can still find ways. And I want to speak especially to the guys here because we tend to isolate. Not to generalize too much, but it seems like guys, we like to get into our box. And we can kind of isolate, I think, a little bit more than women. So I want to encourage you guys, don't get stuck in a box. To get into the Zoom boxes, like we talk about Brady Bunch boxes, and try to connect, reach out, call, email, Facebook message, but don't get stuck in a box because that isolation can lead to annihilation. So we got to find ways to connect.
Right.
Great.
There are opportunities that crisis brings. And what were you saying earlier about crisis? That really was encouraging.
Oh, I was just saying, that crisis can actually be a catalyst for some new creation.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's so cool.
And so even though these are difficult times, there's probably something new that God has for you. And if you, can exercise the spiritual discipline of prayer and Bible reading and seeking the Lord and worship, go to God as a good father and ask him, what is the new thing? What is the new creation that you want for me from this crisis? Because it's a catalyst for new creation. Amen. So something just to consider as well while you're practicing these practical things that we've brought to you today. Because God is a good father. God works all things together for the good for those who are in Christ Jesus, Romans 8:28. And we know that with his strength to draw from and Jesus' peace that passes all understanding, that we're going to get through this together, and he can help us to be better through this. Even though we can't be together, we can be better with his grace that is sufficient for us. So, hey, thanks for tuning in for this 5 minutes of hope. We hope it's been helpful to you, and we look forward to seeing you back next time. And thank you, Pam.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.